So
Okay.
now let me introduce to all of you on a series of the Serrina Goodman Show Live. It's great women doing great things, and this is MC Brown Eyes. So thank
Hello,
you so
everybody.
much.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me on the show. I appreciate it very much. Always, look forward to collabing with people, other people that's doing great things.
Oh my goodness. How could I not ask you to come on? This month is dedicated to great women doing great things. And I reach out to my sister friends. I got so many that is doing great things. But I know that you've got some new great things going on. So I wanted to make sure I bring you back so we can talk about the new great things you got going on. But let's back up a little bit. How did you get started in this whole industry? How did you get started in this?
Well, I started out, doing community work through performance.
Mm-hmm.
I was always a hip hop artist. I grew up hip hop. So, performing was my thing at the block parties, at the house parties, at the local talent shows. I was always on stage creating, giving somebody something new that I created through rapping. And I got a chance to start meeting people, and it made me had not only a love for being a part of it, participating through performance, but also, I started getting the love of just the community and the people gathering. And I wanted to do more than just perform. I wanted to organize and learn how to bring people together and be a different type of leader through, working with people.
Yeah. And so music itself, I mean, what has it done for you in your life?
Oh, well, music has done a lot. For one thing, music gives me a platform to express myself. Whatever I'm going through, whatever I'm feeling, that other people can relate to, that I can perform and inspire people through my words and lift people up through my performance. So music is everything to me because I can speak to people through it and leave them with a good message and a good vibe so they can be happy and be encouraged in their life as well. So music is
Hmm.
like everything for me.
When did you know? When did you know about your love for music? When did you know? As a child, as an adult? When did you know?
Well, I got to tell you, I always loved music. I mean, like when I was a young girl, my mom used to play music all the time. She loved music. She would have her
Ah,
own house parties, in the living room when she had her time during the day, and she would play all the old good music and dance. And, I think it was her way of keeping us happy even through the hard times in life, when we didn't have food in the house, when we didn't know how the
yes.
bills were going to be paid, when things was we were worried about things that were going on. She would put on music, and that would bring joy to us,
Ah,
and that made me fall in love with music because it communicated to me. It really communicated to me physically as well as mentally. So
mhm.
I started out writing poetry, and when the
Really?
hip hop era, yeah, I used to write poetry, and when the hip hop era came out, I one day put my poem to a song outside, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, that sounds good. You should rap." And I saw all these people liking it, so I went home and I went on a mission and started writing rhymes. And from there, from the age of 10, I
Yes.
started going out to the street parties, and every time I had an opportunity to get on the mic, people would say, "Get on the mic, get on the mic." And I would get on the microphone and people would love it. So, it started from now. I was about 10 years old, 10, 11 years old when I first
Wow.
started rapping.
Oh my goodness. And so now you've moved from rapping and you still perform, because when we met, you were performing that day, right? At the Lenny
Yes,
Green Family Day, right? So, I
yes.
mean, so you're still performing even to this day. But now you moved into doing like community organizations and activism. So how did you get involved in that from the rapping?
Well, I'm going to always rap. Even in my community organizing thing, I find opportunities to get a message out there. I got 2 new songs I just wrote this year that just came out. It's on Spotify, iTunes. And I just I think, I used to joke back in the day, say, you know what? I'm going to ride this till the wheels fall off. I'm going to be the rapping granny And every time I try to retire from it, somebody calls me and tell me, "Hey, we doing a show. Can you come and do a song?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't really do that too much no more." They're like, "No, you're never going to stop." So I got involved in the community stuff because of COVID.
Mm.
I was home so long, quarantine. I had started a new organization with some of my other, leaders in the community called Young Leaders for Change. And we had just kicked it off when we were supposed to start doing events and putting together activities in the community. But then COVID hit, and
Ah,
everything dried up. And I felt that I was not, being helpful in the community. For the first time in my life, I felt like I wasn't living my life because I didn't know how to go back and get involved in the community. The community wasn't getting together, so everybody started using virtual online. There's so many podcasts and different shows that exploded on YouTube. I just came up with the idea. A friend of mine started a show and I co-hosted with him for a little while. And then I just said to myself, you know what? This is where I need to be. And
good.
so I created Community Vibes with Brown Eyes and kicked off it audio because it's on iHeartRadio and Google Podcasts. And I started basically just introducing myself to everyone and giving my ideas why I felt like I wanted to do Community Vibes. And then I introduced kicking it off live for this year. And we started doing live shows this year in January where I invite people from the neighborhood that often get overlooked, ordinary people that make big differences in people's lives and nobody hears about them, what they're doing or how they're doing it. So, I bring them on the show and we talk about their history, sort of like what we're doing. Where did you start? Where did this idea come from? What do you do? And I like it because it allows me to not just talk to people in my community, but it allows me to talk to people in any community virtually
Right.
or in person to help inspire other communities to see what other community people are doing to help uplift their neighborhood or create success in people's lives.
Yeah.
So it's starting off pretty good. So I'm pretty proud of the show. We going on to our 4th episode. We just filmed our 3rd one about women and leadership and talking about community organizing on the front lines. And Pam Lewis from Connect Us Youth Program came all the way from Connecticut to be on the show, and that one just aired this last week, Thursday. So it was a very successful show, and I'm looking forward to more interviews and introducing more people, on the internet to people, showing what they do in their communities.
Yeah. What I find is that a lot of times we lack knowledge of the different resources. Like there are a lot of resources and there are a lot of people that are doing great things in the community. And you don't have to go really far to find the resources, but for whatever reason, a lot of times we are just not privy to that information until somebody brings it to the forefront like you're doing. So
Absolutely.
listen, this is why you're a great woman doing great things, because you
I
have
see a
that
lot of
vision.
shows on the internet, and I never see anything that includes like ordinary people from the community. It's always celebrities, big, youth organization, nonprofits, that are big and they're on their way. But I'm talking about mothers that just decide to take a gift that they had to come out and gather the kids in the neighborhood, or want to help the elderly, or feed the homeless, or help people in healthcare through natural medicine. Things that you just don't see or hear about, on any type of platform. So I want to give them an opportunity through what I'm doing to show what they're doing, and people can learn about them and how they can get involved or contact them to get the help that they need.
Mm-hmm. So how can they watch your episodes? You've got 3. You just did your 4th one, right? So
I just did my 3rd one. We're on our way to our 4th episode.
Okay.
And the way they can come on is they can go on YouTube and go to Community Vibes with Brown Eyes. It's Community Vibes with Brown Eyes. And we go live once a month. We only once a month right now, but we're getting so many more people that want to interview. We might have to go 2 or 3 times a month. Wherever God is going to lead it, because I feel like I'm inspired to do it, but I feel like everybody have a gift. Everybody have a gift and a calling. And if it is for you to do a thing, then it will be filled inside of you to want to you want to do it, like push hard to get it done, because it's your gift to do that. It's your purpose, so I'm out here trying to do that. And that's one of my songs called Calling that I wrote. It's an Afrobeat song, and it's about answering your calling. Like, you can't be happy in this life. A lot of people don't realize is because they're running from their calling, and I
Go
don't care
ahead
what that
now.
is.
Talk about
you
it.
know they're running from their calling, and I'm saying in the song, when you answer your calling, you can be free.
Exactly.
Just live your purpose and your dream. When you answer your calling, you have to do that, because we all were born here in this life for a purpose, to do a certain thing. And if we think we were just born here just to get up in the morning and go to work and go to sleep every day till whatever happens, that's not what our life is worth. Much more than that.
That's right.
No
That's
matter
right.
how big or small your gift is, you were created to do that thing. And that small
Exactly.
little thing or that big little thing was
Yeah.
created in you to touch other people, you
Exactly.
know? And so that's what I'm believing in, especially with everything. I lost a lot of people during the whole shutdown with COVID. And I'm sure a lot of people did.
Yeah.
If they
Sure.
didn't lose them personally, they know people who have
Yeah.
moved on. And that's what made me write Calling. Because, time is not waiting on anyone. And if
Right.
people have a gift, the time is now, to step out on faith, believe in yourself. Even if your family or your close friends don't,
That's
God will
right.
bring the people to you that you need to, because that's your purpose. And it has to come into fusion when you put it to work. Whether you're fearful or not, you'll start seeing
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
path if you just step out and take that
Yeah.
chance. So I don't mean to
Do
preach
you
or
ever get
anything.
tired? Because people always ask me, like, I guess when they're looking at me from the outside looking in, right? They just say, like, I do too much. I'm always doing something. I know that there's just a bigger purpose for me, and I'm always just answering the call, right? Do
Right.
you ever get tired?
Yes, I do. I get very tired because I have a full-time job. I'm getting older, but guess what? When I'm not doing anything, I'm tired. So I think what gives me my replenishing of energy is when I do push forward and go
Yeah,
after the things that I dream to do and the
yeah,
things that were instilled in me. I mean,
yeah,
that's what gives me life. That's what
yeah,
keeps me happy. That's what keeps me thriving.
yeah,
That's what keeps me going. And anybody that's out there that has that a purpose or a dream or a gift or something that they've been, wanting to do, and they scared to step out because of fear or whatever have you, I say go for it, because only
exactly.
thing you need to do, that's why I did the podcast, because somebody told me, I asked for advice from another podcaster, and I said,
Uh-huh.
well, how do you start doing podcasting? And he looked at me, he said, look, if you're waiting for the right opportunity, the right money, the right background, the right microphone and all that, you'll never do it. He said, just take your phone or take some headphones, go create a
Yeah,
podcast and just start doing it and let it work from there. And it has
exactly.
grown into, now Community Vibes with Brown Eyes. So he was absolutely right. Just start. Even if you
Yeah,
start small, step by step,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
not much now, but you got to start in order for it to grow into something that's going to
exactly.
be fruitful for yourself and others.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that I'm gonna risk and say this, that during the pandemic, one thing I'm gonna say, Brown Eyes, is that I think people said, you know what? I'm not waiting any longer. If they got dreams, you better answer them. If you're being called to something, you better answer the call,
Yes.
because we learned through the pandemic that tomorrow is definitely not promised to us,
No.
because no one ever saw that coming. Right?
Exactly.
So you thought, like, I got time to do this. I got time to do that. But
Yes.
in this opportunity during the pandemic, it made us sit still. When we
Yes.
couldn't move around, it made you understand yourself, right? It made you look at
Yes.
yourself, the good, bad, and the ugly, right?
Yes.
And just
Yes.
look at yourself and say, you know what? I've been procrastinating. I haven't been
Hmm.
applying myself to what I want to do. And you see that a lot of people jumped out of fields that they didn't even like. They realized they were working jobs they didn't even like, you know?
Exactly.
And now they say, you know what? I'm going for what makes me happy. And I think that's a beautiful thing. They're
Right.
going and following their dreams and their aspirations. And that's what's important. Tomorrow
Yes.
is not promised.
It's
So
not
like we
promised.
said, just get started. Everybody,
Let's
just
get
if you got
started.
something, just get started.
Just get started. You don't have to have enough money. You just got to have enough to start, and
That's
then
it.
you'll build on that. People start supporting you when they see you believe in yourself and they see that you're stepping out, then they will step out with you, and it
That's
may
it.
not be the people who you expect, your closest friends and family. Matter of fact, they probably won't be the ones that's going
Oh,
to
talk about
support
it.
you or get where
Talk
you're going to
about it.
go. You want the people that's supposed to be in the path with you to be under your wings to help you fly is going to come, but you got to step forward so they can see you first, so they can know that you're there to come on board and be involved with what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's the most important message that I got out of the whole entire COVID situation. I mean, I've seen people start their own businesses.
Yeah.
They're taking chances they don't want to go to work no more, so they created their own work. Like
Yeah.
they trying to get people back in the office, and people like, no, we got something new now.
No.
The whole
No.
world is changing. We got
Yeah.
this war going on,
Wow.
overseas, and it's going to affect us too in one way or
Oh,
another.
it already has.
Yeah, with the
It
gas
already
prices and
has.
everything else, so you got to reach for your goals in the midst of all this, because like you said, time and opportunity does not wait. If your
It's never
opportunity
wrong.
pass, you
Yeah.
might miss out. You might miss the boat.
Exactly. That's
So
it.
I was afraid. I'm not gonna lie. I was afraid of failure. I've always been afraid of failure. Even with my performances. I was always afraid that somebody might not like this particular song, or maybe they might boo me off the stage. But I don't care about that anymore.
Good for
Because
you.
fear is what will hold you back.
Yeah.
Fear will hold you back from not doing what you need to do. And I used to be afraid of failure all the time. Come up with all these great ideas, and people love it when they hear it. And I sit down and ponder upon it and
Wow.
procrastinate because now I'm afraid to
Wow.
step out, and really get it done. But with community vibes, I stepped out, and I'm so glad I did. I don't know where it's going to go from here, but it's going well
Ah,
right now. So I'm just looking forward, going up. I'm going to speak
that's
that,
it.
and
You're gonna
touch some
speak it
lives.
into existence.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm just excited about it, and I'm looking forward to, meeting some more people in the community. I'm going to be going to community events, interviewing people outdoors where they are about what they're doing, what they're offering, even vendors that's at community events and things like that. That people don't normally see getting interviewed, like, what is this person doing? Like, yeah, I make my own shirts by hand.
There
I
you
don't,
go.
whatever they do, and where can we find you so we can support you?
That's it.
And that's
That's
the
what it's
thing to do.
about.
You remember back in the days, they had Tupperware parties. People
Uh-huh.
sold dinners out of their homes. Some people still do that. We always had a mechanism in the community to support each other, and that's what we're going to need to go back to.
Yeah.
In these days, with the economy going the way it's going, we all need each other.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
community vibes with Brown Eyes is going to be roaming
I am
around,
so proud of you, sis. I am so proud of you stepping out on faith. Just stepping out
Yes.
on it. Because we already know that faith and fear don't live in the same house.
No, not
They
at
don't
all.
live in the same house, right?
Not at
So
all.
if you have faith in yourself, faith in your supreme being, it's nothing else but a formula for success. And that's why you're so
Absolutely.
successful at it. There's no
Yep.
need for fear. We don't have no room for fear.
No
We're
room for
faith
fear.
builders. No room for
Yes.
fear.
No
That
room
should
for
be the
fear.
title for your next song.
No room for fear. Because remember, fear keeps you still. And it says
Yeah.
faith without works is dead. And you can't
That's
do no
it.
work
That's
with
it.
being
That's it.
still.
That's it.
So they work against each other.
Yeah.
And
And so
so I,
I'm gonna now put another invitation out here for you to come to the next drama room. It's gonna be the last Thursday of this month. So I hope that you're available. You were in the drama
okay.
room before. Remember
Yes.
the platform that so many platforms got created during the pandemic. I mean,
Yes.
I did so much. I did the boot camp. I created the boot camp, a
Yes.
100% virtual boot camp against gun violence. So many things have come out of the pandemic. It's amazing how out of something so horrific can
Right.
still bring life to things. Only God could make that happen.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it. I enjoy everything that you do when you bring people together to create something together, especially with the drama room, because everybody is impromptu in there. They have to perform based off whatever you throw at them. So
Mm-hmm.
you're being creative, you're using your mind, but most importantly, you're creating a chemistry and building
Yeah.
something with others that creates bonding and unity, and that's what it's all about, and a strong group of people. And I literally enjoyed myself the last time I was there. And the performances, when you did the
Yeah.
performances and people performed, and we got to talk about their performances and talk about their singing and whatever they did, and encourage them to keep going. I think that's a beautiful thing
Yeah.
that you did, and I got to get you on Community Vibes with Brown Eyes
Of
as well.
course. All you gotta do is
We
call me. All I did was call you. All you gotta do is
yes,
call me. One of the things that I love so much about the drama room, and you brought so much great energy to it, is that it was an opportunity for people who are new to this industry, who are just thinking about performing, and they're scared, they don't know which direction to go in, but they get a chance to get into a room with someone
yes,
like yourself, right, who's been in this industry since the 80s, like to be able to ask you questions. Where else would they get that opportunity? And they could be
right,
people from anywhere in the world. We're not
right,
limited. That's the thing about the whole virtual platform, is that we're not limited to just people in our neighborhood, in our communities. It's the
right.
entire world becomes your community. And that was so
Absolutely.
amazing, right?
Yeah,
That's
and
so
it builds
amazing.
self-esteem. It builds your self-esteem. Like everything that we do in this life, we all, no matter how good we look when we become a master at it, we all took baby steps before we got there. And
Oh
so that's
boy.
what the drama room is. Like,
That's it.
don't be afraid to take your baby steps. Mess up,
That's
get
it.
on a bicycle and almost fall off until you're able to balance yourself. Because then later on, people will look at you and be like, how did you learn how to do that? And you started from scratch, with the support
Exactly.
you needed. So it's a
Everything
beautiful
started from
thing.
scratch.
Yes,
Everything started from an idea, a
yes,
vision. And then
yes.
look where it's gone. It's
Hmm.
amazing. It's such an amazing journey, and part of this amazing journey is meeting amazing people like yourself. Brown
Oh,
Eyes,
part of
just
the same
yeah.
thing. I gotta say the same thing for you. Your energy was so beautiful today. We was at Lenny Green Family Day in
Oh
Brooklyn, my hometown, where I grew
yeah.
up and where I learned how to rap and perform. Like Brooklyn was everything for me, in growing up to perform and do a lot of community things. Because block parties was crazy back then. And
Oh,
a lot of adults was forming all kind of different things in the community. So it was nice to meet you, and I knew that we would click, when we exchanged numbers, and here we are.
and here we are. Here we are.
Yes.
All right. So am I going to get a chance to get? Are those folks that's in the room? Are we going to get a chance to have you perform something? Do you want to perform something? You always have something ready.
Well, I wrote a new song, Calling, and since I'm talking about it, maybe I'll give them a little piece of that. It's
There
like a
you
little
go.
Afro beats type of thing.
So let's go for it.
Okay, let's go for it. This one is called Calling.
Calling. Okay.
When you answer your calling, you can be free. Just live your purpose and your dream. When you answer your calling, in your sunrise, take a chance for yourself to reach higher heights. So many with dreams on their mind, left it behind. Time to rewind. Back up to the days when you felt your passion. Put it into play, put it to action. We won't play with time. I know it ain't mine. You'll get left behind. So take a little step and work it, work it. Pause on fear, cause nothing's perfect. Persevere, believe it is worth it. Sitting on your dreams, it's time to birth it. Say a little prayer, the blessings fervent. Keep the vibe with no disturbance. It's really up to you what you really want to do, and it's true. So I put it in a song for you. Get it, never quit it. We won't give up. When another day comes, you won't have to be stuck in your calling. You can be free, just live your purpose and your dream. When you answer your calling, in your sunrise, take a chance for yourself to reach higher heights. In your calling, take a chance on yourself to reach higher heights. You got to believe in yourself and believe in what God put in you as a skill and as a gift, so that you could do what you do in this life and touch others. So that's
Oh
what
my
that's about. And you could get that on iTunes, Spotify. You can find it online. It's out there now. It's for purchase, if you want a copy for yourself. And I
get it,
appreciate you allowing
everyone.
me to give that.
Get it. And tune in and get it. So, MC Brown Eyes, this is a question I ask every one of my guests. If you were able to have a conversation with your 10-year-old self, what would you say?
I would say stay away from the guys until you get 25. No. No, I would say to myself that forget the fears. Because ever since I was a 10-year-old little girl, I've been afraid to step out. You know, be not afraid to step out, because whether you do it or not, people gonna like you, people gonna not like you, people gonna
That's
love
it.
you, people gonna hate you. But you have a gift and a path in this life, and you can't let nobody stop you. Just like Noah's Ark, they laughed at him when he built them, but when that water came, you understand what I'm saying? They got the gist of why he had the passion to do what he do, and that's how everybody should feel about their passion. It's not about anybody else, because whoever's supposed to be on board is going to get on board when you start building that ship.
Talk
And that's what
about
I
it.
would call myself, at 10 years old, a 10-year-old person, or anybody out there that needs to be encouraged that was thinking like that when I was thinking like that. So,
Oh my
yeah.
God. Let's tell them one more time how they can watch your show. So let's tell how they can listen to your podcast. Let's tell them one more time and tell them where they
Okay.
can find your new song. Let's do
Yeah.
that now.
Yes, well, they can find Calling and another song that I'm sure you'll love called Diamond, because you are all diamonds, precious and rare. And that's another encouragement song. You can find it on Spotify. You can find it on iTunes or any of the music platforms that are out there. Let's look for Calling or Diamond by MC Brown Eyes. And if you want to see the show, you can go to a YouTube page and go to Community Vibes with Brown Eyes. Please don't forget to subscribe and share. I appreciate all
Subscribe.
the support. Subscribe and share it on your page for other people that might want to be encouraged as well. And also leave me some comments to let me know what you think, or if you got any other ideas about something you think I should do. I'm always open to the community, because that's who I'm a part of, the community. So you can go to YouTube, or you can go to my Facebook page or Instagram page, Community Vibes with Brown Eyes, and I'm also on Twitter. But please, most importantly, go to the YouTube page so that you can subscribe and share. And I appreciate you in advance, and also you too, Serrina, for the beautiful work that you're doing and allowing me to be a part of it.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
great women doing great things. MC Brown Eyes. Thank you, my love.
Yes. Thank
Continue
you.
to continue abundance of blessings to you, and continue such great work. All right,
Thank you,
guys.
Serrina.
That's MC Brown Eyes. I'll see you next Wednesday at 8:30, and bring like
Yes.
50 friends. All right, y'all. Good night.
All right. Take care. Good night.